It's been a great pleasure to have the guests that we have lined up for you guys this week. So we're going to be talking about all things video, but utilizing it for video for business. And as you can see here on the screen, if you're here on Facebook, these are the guests in the lineup that we have today. Well, not today. Well, today and for the rest of this week. Yesterday we had Gail Gilliland, and now we are having Colin Yearwood. And so right now we are going live here on Facebook and also on Instagram. So those of you guys that are here on Instagram, on Facebook, wave to each other, participate. This is going to be an interactive experience. And so I just want to say the whole purpose of this amazing summit is for those of you guys that are watching who know that video is the way to go. It's a new year, it's a new decade, but you just don't know exactly how to get started, or it's, a lot of times it's better to hear it from other people who've gone through whatever fears, whatever frustrations that you've gone through, but they've actually seen results on the other side. And so this is why I wanted to do this, because I want to invite business veterans. A lot of times people are showcasing people who are newbies or new to the online space, digital landscape, but I strategically chose business veterans. And so I'm really, really excited to have this summit this week. And without further ado, I want to bring on a very special friend and guest, Colin Yearwood. Colin.
Hey, Monique. Hey, what's happening? How are you?
Good, good, good. How's it going with you?
It's going great. It's definitely good to be here and share.
So, Colin, for those who've never heard of you before, never seen your wonderful face, never heard that amazing accent, who is Colin Yearwood?
Absolutely awesome guy. So right now I show up online as a professional online business coach, and I focus on helping ambitious employees transition their skill set that they've learned at their corporate jobs, their education, their knowledge, and transition that and use that to create their own online business. So that's what I focus on doing. Launched a new podcast recently called 52 Wins, which help people focus on the positive things that are happening, because I'm a big believer that that's what fuels you to ultimately hit your goals. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. And if you don't mind sharing with us, how long you've been in business for?
So I've been in online business for a very long time. Actually, the first time I sold something online was 1997. And I did that for like 10 years on eBay. I called that my hobby phase. And then in 2007 to about 2011 was my get rich quick phase. And then from about 2012 on, I've been in the online course creation, online business, coaching space, using my skill set that I developed in corporate America to launch and build my business. So last 4 years I've been a professional coach online, and the last 2.5 full-time. Yeah.
Awesome. So why should a business do video, in your honest opinion?
So video was something I was very afraid of in the beginning, right? And I was pushed into doing it because I felt when I started, I always connected with people well in person. It was easy for me to build rapport, build relationship, and have people feel my vibe, feel my energy, and take things from there. And I wanted to have that same kind of connection online. And that's why I was pushed into doing video. Video allows you to have that immediate connection and rapport, break through a lot of stages of getting to know you. And people can make a decision, hey, do I want to listen to this guy, this girl, or not, right? And then the ones who stay around are the ones that you can go a little bit deeper with. So it helps you bridge that introduction to relationship phase a little faster.
I love it. I love that, what you said in that regard, because, and also just kind of being vulnerable, because when it comes to video, we all have to start from somewhere, right? And, it's, it can be very daunting, scary, whatever you want to put in front of, cause a lot of anxiety, whatever you want to put the fear part of it. And it can be a very much, emotional process. And since you are currently doing video, or even if you could think back just when you first getting started, and maybe you can express to us like the whole evolution of it, but how do you currently use video in your business?
So I'll mention one thing about getting started. I've done over 200 videos. right? Facebook Lives, recorded videos. I do a lot of interviews with people at conferences. But every time I'm about to get on camera, I am nervous. You may be seeing some sweat on my brow right now because I was nervous getting on camera, right? So it doesn't matter how many videos you do, at least for me, I still have that slight bit of anxiety, but you push through it, and guess what? After we went live, everything went away. How do I use video? So I use video in a couple different ways, right? One of the ways I use video is just to do interviews with experts in my niche, so I can share content with my audience. So there's a couple things for me. By association, it builds my authority with my audience. Also, it builds goodwill because I'm bringing them good information, and it builds connections and networking opportunities and relationships with the people I'm interviewing, right? And it's a sneaky way for you to get to learn, because you get to learn a lot of good tips from experts. That's one way. The second way I've used video is to launch my From Employee to Entrepreneur workshop, which I launched 2 years ago officially. You helped me with that a lot with the Live Authority course, and we can always talk about it later. The other way I've used video is in my Facebook group. And it's a great way to practice new concepts, new ideas. Like if I have an idea and I want to bounce it around before bringing it to the world, I have a group of people who are familiar with me, know me, so I can actually be a little more vulnerable with them and test ideas and concepts on them while helping them learn, and they can see the process evolve. So those are a couple ways that I use video.
Wow, I mean, I love the fact that you have a Facebook group in which, and you mentioned in Live Authority, but like what I like to teach students or just people in general, if you have like an exclusive community and using the form of video to do communication, to kind of give that humanizing factor, to kind of develop like this close-knit connection to you, is truly amazing. It's funny, it's like in itself, video can kind of give the celebrity factor on both ends, especially if you're going live, right? For instance, like how we're going live now, and like say there's someone who's leaving a comment or saying hello, and it gives the audience that celebrity factor of, oh wow, they took out the time to acknowledge me, and they know their lives, so this is public, so people are going to know who they are. And then the reverse role is like, if you're consistent, which is key, and I'm sure those of you guys that are watching this, Colin's consistent. He's done over 200 videos, whether it's live or pre-recorded, but as a result, people think they know you, just like with TV or movies. And so if they were to see you in person, it's like, oh snap, there goes Colin, I watch your videos, or I've seen you here, and it feels like they have like that true connection to you, don't you think?
Absolutely. And not only there's a couple of ways you can actually be intentional about sharing more about you. And I, at times, a lot of my examples that I use, or in a way in my attempts to give more distinction to specific topics, I share my situation, right? What I've gone through and how I've overcome it. And I think that's something that's helped a lot of people connect with me. Since I'm a professional coach, I do a lot of introduction conversations with people. So when we get on the call, they feel like they already know me. So we don't have to spend a lot of time getting to know you. They're familiar with some of my challenges and familiar with possibly how I can help them. So video definitely helps me share a little bit more about me and be a little bit more vulnerable. Mm-hmm. But also, too, what I like about video is I haven't done a lot of this, but I need to do more. But it's a strategy a good friend of mine used. He actually answers every question that is asked in his group on video. So if someone asks a question, he actually records a video response. I haven't done much of that, but that's going to go on my to-do list for 2020 more. Again, that gives a little bit more the celebrity factor, right? That person is paying specific attention to me and taking the time to answer my question on video, right? You can give a little bit more, go a little bit more in depth than just a text reply.
Most definitely. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because especially when I first started in the video space, that was kind of like my thing. Like I would go and network, and then I would respond back or reach out doing these little video clips, right? I would just use my iPhone. I would make them really short, And a lot of times either I would send it via email, and that was like really complicated. Oh, it was so tedious and manual. You know, upload it to YouTube, then get a screenshot and make it look like it's a video that you can tap on. Or I would make sure to make it very, very short that I can actually text it to them directly, right? Especially if they got, you know, their business card and their cell phone number on there. So I'm glad that, you know, you shared with us so far, like the various ways that you can do it, especially from a coaching / consulting perspective, because you know, coaching and consulting, or let's just say consulting, a lot of times people tend to view it as like this mundane type of industry, or it's kind of like, you know, there's this only one way of doing certain things. And the mere fact that you are utilizing video to help perform those specific services to people is amazing, because you know, I would feel that in the consulting role, especially those working remotely, you know, they'll do the Zoom call and stuff, but they don't add that extra touch or that extra special attention by utilizing video the same way that you do.
Yep. And you know, the thing about video, I think it allows you to go deeper with people faster. That's the thing I like about it, right? It's, you know, when you and I've done screen grabs of, you know, someone asks a question, I've done a screen grab, answer it, and just send them. And it took a little bit extra effort, but it meant more to them. It meant more to me, right? One of the reasons I do things because I feel good about it, and then I really don't attach how that person responds to it. But if I feel good about doing it, I'll do it, and hopefully they respond in a positive way. But video allows you to do a little bit extra. One of the things I'll mention, when I get a Facebook friend request, many times I accept the friend request, and then use the Messenger video feature to send a welcome message. If I don't do the video, I do an audio. So I still give that personal touch. So videos are really, once you get over yourself, video is a really great way to connect with people. And let me mention one thing about getting over yourself. I've done a lot of videos, and one of my biggest fears, I'll tell you, is I don't look good on camera. That's all I always tell myself, right? But there's been no one in about 7 years of me doing video, until maybe now, replied and told me, hey, dude, you don't look good on camera, right? No one has ever done that. So it's all in my head. So very few times people will be mean to you. So I think that's another thing that stops people from actually, you know, I don't look good on camera. I don't sung this way. Those used to be all of my fears, right? My accent and a whole bunch of different excuses. But once I got over it, videos really helped me connect with people and help me serve in a more powerful way.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you said all of the things. Like, I feel like I could just go on a rant for days. But there's two things I want to address here, and I thank you for sharing that, because, you know, for one, as a female, I thought that was like a female thing, for one. And then I'm serious.
Maybe those are my female hormones.
No, but actually, in all seriousness, I had a good friend of mine who's a professional videographer, and he told me, he was like, Monique, men are just as bad as women, if not worse. And I was like, really? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I'm glad you expressed that, because, you know, and like you said, get over yourself. I tend to say that. I see it more so from the perspective of you being selfish and making it about you, because you're so caught up as to how you look versus showing up, being consistent and sharing your message or sharing the value, because we all can provide value in today's world. You know, and it's like, because you're allowing something as simple as how you look stop you from showing up, to me, it's like a personal responsibility, and it's just a matter of you being selfish. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I love what you said, and man, it was good, and now it just slipped my mind. Oh, man, it was good too. I guess we'll get back to it. But you mentioned how you looked, and what was the other thing that you said?
The stories I make up, you know, people responding negatively to you on camera.
That, oh man,
Monique,
it was so good.
When I get on camera, I get into flow. I don't even remember what I said like a minute ago. I'm like, after the initial nervousness, I just go and I just focus on what we are here to do is serve. So we'll have to rewind the video.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, it was so good, Colin. But anyway, that was great. I'm glad you brought that to people's attention because, once you decide to get over yourself, like, that's when the light bulb and all the things happen. And the thing is, especially let's talk about live video real quick. Like, I know why live video is scary, especially on Facebook, right? Because first of all, yeah, you can't edit out all the ums and the ahs and blah, blah, blah. That's one thing. But really, it's because of who is on the platform. Let's be real, especially if it's Facebook or even Instagram, but let's talk about Facebook. Your grandmother, the cousin that you hate or you don't really like is on there. Like, people you haven't talked to in over 20 plus years is on there. So you feel very self-conscious and vulnerable, especially with that. So I can see it.
Let me share something about that exact situation you mentioned, right? So for a long time, I didn't go live on Facebook because I didn't want certain people to see me. So guess what I did? I put them on a special list. And then before I went live, I excluded that list. And that's where actually I started. Because there was about 10 people on that list, which if for some reason I just had a hang up about how they're going to perceive me. And then when I got over that, I just put them on the list. You set up your live, and then you can go to exclude that list. All friends, exclude this list. And that's actually one of the things I did that, okay, now that obstacle is out of the way, go live. But some people from 20 years ago. But so that's one way I moved ahead of that specific situation you mentioned there, where we're concerned about, what other people think. And I think, look, no matter who you are, you always have a little bit of that in you.
And okay, first off, I remember what I was going to say, but number two, let's adjust this. Guys, what he just shared with you is a perfect strategy, because even for when I'm, getting people to just start, especially with live video, I say make your live streams private. Like, go live on your profile, get used to the bells and whistles, kind of what it feels like, but make it private so only you can see it, and then you can always take it down. What Colin just shared with you guys, just creating like a friends list. Yes, that still exists. I love utilizing the friends list and just kind of like semi-blocking them. Those people who you do not want to see your stuff, the personal family and all that. That's a great way to get over that. So thank you for sharing that, Colin. That's a really good strategy. And number two, I remember what you said. So I remember especially when I first launched my course, Live Authority, there were some people in the program, some students who are not from the United States. And I remember there was this one student who was really caught up on her accent. And I remember hearing, I don't know if you know who Dan Locke is, but he's a YouTube sensation. He talks about like high ticket sales, et cetera, et cetera.
I know Dan Locke.
Yeah, and he's from, I believe he's Chinese, Singapore.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know. I'm sorry, I apologize. But he's from the Asian culture. I'll just say that. And he said that was something that really hung him up. And he said, however, he flipped the switch. As a result, because of his accent, people will know who he is. As soon as they hear him, they'll know, oh, that's Dan Locke, right? And I love that. I was like, yes, anyone who has an accent should listen to this, because that is the one thing that will distinguish you from everyone else, not wanting to sound like everyone else and be instantly recognizable. And so, Colin, you're from the Caribbean, have an accent, and like people will be able to know, oh, that's Colin right there as soon as they hear you or they see you.
There you go. By the way, I'm from Guyana, a little different.
But it's part of the Caribbean.
We associate the Caribbean. There's been a meme. So you have a good point there. That's absolutely true. For a long time, my accent was a story I made up in my head. Another thing that I've done through the help of coaching, right? And look, a lot of times we can't figure out all these things by ourselves. So getting connected with, if you're doing live video, getting connected with you, Monique, you help coaches through these situations, right? But I had a business coach, and I told him this was one of my issues, and he's like, hey, has anyone ever told you something about your accent? No. He said, how many compliments have you gotten about your accent? And it's just crazy. I've gotten a lot of compliments about my accent. I just launched a new podcast and people say, hey, love your accent. So what I do anytime that comes up in my head, and even now I do it from time to time, I just think as soon as that negative thought pop in, oh, you pronounce that word wrong. Guilty many times. Um, I think about, that's because of my accent and people like my accent, right? So you kind of try to flip the switch in your head to get over your accent. Look, I appreciate it now. It's me. Um, and it works. It's worked for me in my corporate career. It's worked for me so far online. So once you embrace it, once you get over yourself, man, it's amazing that the things that can happen because we're the biggest obstacles to going live and doing videos and impacting people and making sales and all those good things.
I love it. Yeah, and like, I mean, I love your accent, just so you know. So there's another compliment for you. Just saying. There we go. With that said, is the next question I have for you is kind of like a mini case study, and it's up to you how much you want to reveal. But can you share with us any direct results that video has helped to generate revenue or leads specifically for your business, whether it was when you're getting started or something recently? I know you shared with me, how much it's helped you like in your Facebook group and stuff when you're, like you said, wanting to start or do a new coaching offer or something like that. But if you don't mind sharing with us any like direct results or anything specifically for leads and sales by utilizing the amazing medium of video.
Awesome. I'll share with you two examples. One,
awesome.
So I think, was it 2017 you launched Live Authority?
It's 2020 now. So yes, it is. It is. Last year was the 2-year anniversary. Yes.
Wow. Time flies. So I joined that up in December, I think December of 2017. And went through that. I was doing video before, but not with any specific strategy. Got some strategies from you about the different types of videos to do, simple call to actions, and how to link it. Now, in 2018, I launched my Employee to Entrepreneur workshop, and I used those strategies. Now, I did a very short launch, maybe about a week, using my personal profile, generated about 30 leads. End up having 12 paid clients in the program, and they came straight through the live video. Couple videos I did, and you talk about this. You already have the structure. I did the Q&A video. So I did the first video. There we go. So the first type of video I did was actually I did an overview of the program, right? That's one I did, an entire overview of the 6 parts to the program, and that went over well. Got a lot of good feedback, comments, and people started asking questions. And then I did a Q&A to answer the questions in a separate video. Both of those I got good feedback on the live stream. Also on the replay questions, but this is my secret weapon. It's not the sexiest thing when it comes to the online marketing promise. I actually talk to people. So when someone leaves me a comment, I went back to their inbox and I follow up with a conversation and I try to get them on, hey, if they're interested, let's jump on a quick call, see how I can help you. And that's how I close all my sales for the program. So I use the live video to generate engagement. The engagement, then I followed up on that engagement by answering their questions publicly, but then got into their inbox and went a little bit deeper, invite people onto the telephone, 15, 20 minutes calls. Sometimes the calls went longer, and people said yes. And that's how I got sign-ups for my program when I launched it in 2017. And that's how things continue to grow for me when I do live video. Now, that's one, right? The second way, sneaky way, I think it's sneaky, in groups, how to get leads. How I get leads, again, is not, I don't get a lot of opt-in leads to my email list. People do opt in from time to time, but I actually pursue my leads. So if someone watch a video in a group, and since I'm the admin of my group, I can see who viewed that post. So I just click on it and then go over and have a conversation with them, right? Hey, Monique, thanks for checking out that video on, developing a process in your business. What type of business you have? What kind of processes you have? And just have a conversation, make an invitation for them to have a call. So I use that as a lead generator. Yes, it takes a few extra steps. It's not a sexy funnel, but it's what works for me. And it's what I would recommend you do if you're starting out doing video. Go the extra mile. People want to talk to a real person. A lot of times, sales funnels work, but I think maybe this is just a negative belief I have, but I think it takes a little bit longer if you're new. You don't have that authority and that copywriting skills, but if you get on the phone or contact people, you generate a lead, you have a real conversation, And if even they don't buy that time, you've planted a solid seed that, hey, I know this guy, I know this person, we spoke. So the next time you have a video, guess who's going to jump on your video? Guess who's going to comment, right? So those are two ways I use videos to generate leads. Of course, there's leads that come into my opt-ins and stuff like that from time to time, but those are the two main ways that videos have helped me generate leads.
First off, thank you for sharing, especially, I knew, but I did not know the full extent and detail of when you joined Live Authority, the core signature program that I have, and how it immediately helped you launch your coaching. I don't want to say new business because you've been doing coaching for a while, but I guess a new part of your business, a new offer. That's awesome. And how you were able to get sales that way. In fact, I have some students in right now, and guys, like, whether it's live video or video, keep it simple. Don't feel that you need to have this whole sales funnel in place, et cetera, et cetera. One of the most major ways to convert, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whether it's native video or live video, ask them to message you or get on a call. Hands down. That is the simplest way to get started, to convert on a higher level. Because what I wanted to even say, how we kicked off this call, Colin, was that you don't realize the power of your voice. I don't mean in a theoretical way, but in a literal way. That's why video is so important. Fine, yes, you get to visually see the person, but it's the voice. That's why podcasting is powerful. It's audio. It's in your ear. It's very intimate. Getting on the call is another intimate experience. And I love the fact that, Colin, for you say you pursue your leads. You're always getting them on a call because that is an intimate experience, and that's where you can fully show up. And I strongly believe that anyone, whatever business you are in, if you get them on the phone, it's an intimate experience. And let video be the introduction, especially when I first started doing video, I used to call it your virtual handshake. Your video is your initial handshake to invite someone into your home. And then once you get in your home, you got to make sure you give that great first impression. And the phone is amazing because you're in that person's ear. Or you could do a video call, like a Zoom call, video, audio. They see you, etc. They see you're not full of whatever, or reading from a script because they see you. It's not like, whatever. But I love the fact that you shared that. So thank you for that. But those of you guys who are watching are wondering, like, how can you get video to work for you or get some like initial wins or confidence boosters? Get them on the phone. Make it simple. In fact, I also do a Facebook Live challenge. And that's what I'm pushing all the time. It's like, what's the lowest hanging fruit? Get them on the phone or get them to message you, whether you're on Instagram. Everybody knows the sales happens in the DMs, the direct messaging. The sales happens on Facebook in the DMs. That's why there's messenger bots, which, people tend to abuse that. But, there's nothing like getting into someone's inbox, whether you're on Instagram or on Facebook. And it's like, what do you do from there to get them on the call or to get them closer to the sale? It's all of these different touch points. In fact, Gail mentioned this yesterday, our guest yesterday for this Success Series Summit. She was like, isn't they say in business it's like 7 touch points or something before you can get a customer? She's like, I feel like in this day and age, it's like double or triple that. And you just use the platform of video or, the various platforms out there to increase that way of, increasing that touch point. So, yeah.
So a couple of things you do. Let me just big you up a second. So a couple of things you do. You have, I don't know if you have it as a freebie anymore. I think you may have had it as a freebie. You have some pattern interrupts with some call to actions that are some amazing pattern. I like those, right? So I don't know if you have the freebie. You could talk about that, but I want to big you up on that. So a lot of people are used to the generic call to actions, in which you do the pattern interrupts in a minute. Can I use one which I love? I love saying this one. Oh, by the way, before I forget. And then I plug in my call to action there. Oh, by the way, if I don't want to forget this, because everyone is used to, you can send me a message on, no, but if you just change it up and give them that pattern interrupt and say, hey, oh, by the way, I don't want to forget this. If you and then you give your call to action. Right? If you want to talk a little bit more about this, or if you have specific questions, send me a DM. I'd love to answer that question for you. Or what I always say sometimes, because I have so many videos, or I'll send you another video I have on that topic. More than likely I do. If I don't, guess what? I get an opportunity to make a video that is very specific to someone's needs, right? And I've had instances, someone asked me a question on Messenger that I didn't have the answer, but I knew the answer. I did a quick video and I did it and said, hey, someone just asked me this question. Here's this video, and I send it over to them. So I like the pattern interrupts the little pattern interrupt scripts that you offer. One other tip I want to tell people about, a lot of people are scared about the phone, right? Look, it's pretty simple. 3 questions. What is it you're doing? What's the biggest challenge you're having? And what would the solution look like for you? That's it. Those are the 3 questions. They'll tell you everything there, and they say, you know what? I think I can help you with that. Here's what I do. That's the 3 questions. So it's not more complicated than that. And of course, come with a good energy, right?
I love that because even for me initially, and I'll even admit this, to openly to people, like, and it's a common fear people have, especially when you're starting a business, is the selling part. Because really, as a business owner, you are a salesman. Like, you cannot not be a salesman. Well, no matter where you are in your organization, especially a business, whether you're the CEO and the founder, and you're thinking, oh yeah, I get to boss people around. No, you're a salesman. Like, you're a salesman or woman, and marketing and sales is what you constantly have to do, especially when you're starting out. And the thing is, guys, based on what Colin just shared with us, like, notice it's very conversational. And those pattern interrupts, right, that I have been sharing that Colin has learned and other people who join my Live Authority program, it's like, before I forget, or, all of the things that he just said, it makes it conversational. It makes it very easy for you to transition into whatever it is that you want to offer, instead of getting either caught up on your words, like, deer in the headlights, because there's this sale or offer coming up, and you already feel self-conscious about it already, and it's like, I don't know if people are going to take me on this, blah, 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 and then, you totally mess it up, and it's very awkward, versus if you just say, before I forget, or, by the way, those 2 are my 2 favorite ones. And the thing is, I would love to take credit for this and saying, I tested this out, guys, and I just know for a fact. I'm all about not reinventing the wheel. And what I got this from was, you watch QVC. The QVC, the home network. What are they doing all day, guys? They're using the medium fine. They got started with TV, but they're using the medium of video. They go live all day, every day. But what are they doing? They're selling. And if you look at how they position their videos specifically for an offer, they always... I remember I broke it down. There's like 5, and what Colin's referring to, I have a whole document that breaks this down. But the 2 main phrases: before I forget, or before we forget, or before we move on, don't forget. And then they present the offer. Or, by the way, they'll present the offer. They'll show a feature or benefit, and they say, by the way, you can get it here at such and such and such and such. That's all you got to do. It's just a matter of kind of like slipping it in. It's not a matter of being sneaky. It's just a matter of not making like this huge big deal. And what I've noticed, and I had to learn this the hard way, even when I first launched Live Authority, I didn't know this, and it's only like within the last maybe year and a half. But the more you mention your offer or call to action, the higher the opportunity, or likely someone will convert. So when you're going live or creating video, as soon as you start, you want to mention that the call to action. I know that sounds scary or weird or kind of backwards, but think about it. Colin and I have been live for almost 36 minutes now. People are hopping on and off. Those here on Instagram, you guys have not. Some of you guys on here have not been here from the beginning. Those of you guys on Facebook have been hopping on and off, or have been consistent. But if you mention it first, at least that person will remember. Or if someone's coming back or they're watching the replay, they keep remembering, oh, yeah, they keep saying that. Let me check it out. Oh, I love what they have to say. Plus, I mean, if they're showing up like this on video, I can only imagine what it's like to work with them or the service or the product or the customer service, the experience, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I say that to say that's all you got to use before I forget. Or by the way, and I remember when I first had to do this, like Colin was like, "Oh my God, I love this."
You're right. I love that from the minute I heard it because I've had a little anxiety around selling through video, but with phrases like that, it's more natural for you. And then here's the key to it, man. You just got to do it. The first 10 times, admit to yourself, the first 10 times will be hard. So let's get the 10 times out of the way, right? And as soon as you get the tenth time out of the way, number 11 is gonna be way easier. And then you keep going. So most times we think the worst that can happen is someone's going to say something bad. No, usually they don't respond. Okay, is that the worst that can happen? All right, let's try this again. So it's you got to act to the sale, or you got to act to the next action. That's it. And or give the invite. People are not just going to inbox you because you're there. They're looking for that permission to, and feel comfortable that okay, I can inbox him because he says to inbox him, right? So that's the whole point behind it.
I love it, and it's just a matter of practice. I mean, if you guys, okay, I mean, I don't know, a Gary Vee, a Tony Robbins, like they all started from being horrible guys. I mean, they had to practice so much. And in fact, Gary Vee will tell you, like, his first speaking, like, there's only 8 people, was in New Jersey, etc. And it was horrible. He said it was horrible. But did that stop him? No. Now he's this world-renowned influencer, has so many different agencies, doing so many different things. And the thing is, you're going to suck. You're going to suck. When you go to the gym or start working out or eating better, it's going to suck. It's going to feel horrible. I'm actually reading David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. He talks about getting comfortable with pain, embracing it, but know that as soon as you do that, you get over to the other side. So I just want to say thank you, Colin, so much for sharing your insights and all of those amazing things. I know we have to wrap up this particular session today, but if those of you guys who are watching this live or on the replay, so this is day 2 of what I call your Ignite Your Video Lifestyle Success Series. Colin Yearwood is our special guest for day 2. We had Gail Gilliland talk to us yesterday, and then we have more guests showing up tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern. And Colin, I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest here. And I love what you're doing with video. I love that you shared with us, those of you guys who are wondering how can you get started, and especially how he's utilizing it personally in his Facebook community. I'm glad you shared that with us. But more so, the whole newbie strategy of, guys, if there's certain people you don't want to see your live video on Facebook, create a list and block them from showing up if that's really something that's making you self-conscious. And Colin, do you have any parting words for someone who's on the fence, for someone, it's 2020, any parting words for those who are like, okay, I'm going to do this video thing, or I want to do it, but I'm just still scared? What are some parting words that you can share with us?
So the first thing, if you want to do it, if you know something that can help you grow your business or improve what you're working on, get help. Because the more you try to figure it out on your own, is the longer it's going to take you to actually do it. So from personal experience, I think a lot of times we try to figure out this online business thing on our own, thinking we have all the answers. Look, just get help. Make the investment and get the help you need. Personally, I'll recommend Monique because she's helped me tremendously with her Live Authority program. But in anything that you do, I just want to point it out. Look, we're online. You can find someone to help you move forward. You don't have to figure it out by yourself. And along that lines, Monique, I would say this. We went to college, right?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't figure it out by ourselves. But then we get into online business, then we figure out for some reason we can figure it all out by ourselves. So if you want to get started with video, get help. Get help to get past that hurdles, because the sooner you get to help them move forward, the sooner you're going to start seeing the results that you want. But more importantly, it's to the point that sooner you can be able to impact more people and change their situation with your knowledge, your service, your product that you offer, because ultimately that's what it's about. Changing people's situation with what you offer. So take that step to change people's lives and people's situation and get out of your own way. So that's what I would say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So thank you so much. Those of you guys who are watching this live or on the replay. These replays will only be available for a short amount of time. If you want to have access to them, join us on Facebook. Look for the Facebook group Traffic and Selling for Entrepreneurs. That's where we'll have it archive this. And Colin, I can't thank you enough for sharing your expertise. Again, I strategically and purposely chose business veterans. As Colin has expressed, he's been in business for a very long time. He said he made his first sale in '97. Like, I was still in grade school, I think, at that time.
That's not necessary. It's not necessary.
No, but I'm just letting people know. Colin's been in the business, guys, for a long time. Okay? And I just want to share with you guys that no matter where you are at the stage of your business, whether you're a newbie or a veteran, this medium, hands down, no one can convince me otherwise that this won't help you with your business. Either take it to the next level or grow it to the level you want it to be and then take it to the next level. So with that said, guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern with Ty Cohen and 4 p.m. Eastern with Sharon Sheldon. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.